I love to watch chess miniatures, which are games up to 25 moves, for the reason that often in modern times we don't have much time during the day with all our duties, work, family, and so on. But at the same time, we can learn something. In this case, all the games from this book are played between 2500 or above, so they are all grandmasters or professionals, and they are destroyed in 25 moves or less, which is amazing in a sense, right? The author has made, I notice a thing, often there are two games back to back of the same player, no? Could be Tal, in this case Vaganian. In one game he loses and in the other he wins, and it made me think of that saying that maybe was Fisher, I don't know, that said some days I give a lesson and some days I take a lesson, which is very humble and true in chess for human beings. The game I would like to show you is Vaganian Kuprejcik. It was played in the USSR Championship in Leningrad in 1974. In 1974, this Vaganian, they thought it was world champion material, then I think he disappeared as a player. It's quite interesting to notice how some players rise nearly to the top and then they disappear. d4, knight f6, bishop g5, c5, d5, a sharp alternative to the more positional bishop f6. So instead of d5 is generally played the bishop f6. Queen b6. This must be the critical test of d5, as white is forced to sacrifice his b pawn. But honestly, this is the opening. If you give a pawn in the opening, you give it to create an attack, to gain a tempo, to bring out your pieces. Black is already behind one tempo. If he wastes another one, maybe not a good idea, right? So let's see what happens. Knight c3, queen takes b2, and bishop d2. Boom! Amazing move, right? Because now he's trying to trap the queen, and he could succeed. He could succeed. Notice this is 1974. 1974. So there were no computers. All the analysis of the opening was made by the players that had to actually remember it. 1974. They didn't have ChessBase, so the problem is not only they didn't have a computer, they had to write it down, okay, because there was no electronical way to write it down, right? Okay, so queen b6, e4. So what did white gain? White gained a center, two pieces out. This queen is in a place that is not really good. In the game, Kuprejcik played d6. In reality, it could be played this move, e5, and here the author gives a line to explain that it's an alternative idea to block the center. It makes sense, honestly. But in that time, they didn't think of that, and he played d6. Which means white continues his attack, right? With f4, so white has seized the center, and now he tries to expand in the center. How does black continue? He has the problem of this bishop if he wants to castle, and so he plays g6, which seems a natural move, right? But this is a mistake, because it allows white to break through in the center. Again, this is the instructive value of these miniatures, that you see what happens in the center, which is the main fight in the opening. So you can learn a lot and start to develop a feeling for what's right and what's wrong. So what do you think White played at this point? He immediately broke through with e5. D takes e5, f takes e5, knight f d7, attacking this. But now notice the problem. These are blocked, so 3 pieces blocked there, because you cannot play this, right? Okay, so you are playing with 3 pieces less. Then this is also kind of block and in the back. Do you understand that there is a problem, right? You can see it right away. Watch the difference. Knight f3. So who do you think is better in this position between the two? White with 3 pieces out, or black with 3 pieces that cannot develop and go anywhere? Just for 1 pawn. I think I will give a pawn every day of the week. Bishop g7. Once more, you attack in the opening. So what would you play as white? Try to find white move. That's very important, right? Try to find white move, because that's what you want to learn, and that's what you can learn thanks to watching my videos, because I ask you a question, and so you have to think. He played rook b1. Now, where does this queen go? Do you really want to put it here? I don't think so. You cannot put it here, so you have to go back, and he goes back. Queen d8. So we are at move, let's see, move 11. We are at move 11. This is the position. What do you think is better, white or black? Black has 3 pieces again blocked. This queen has made 1, 2, 3, 4. What did it accomplish? To gain 1 pawn. Wow, great job, great job. And this is a grandmaster. I don't know, doesn't make any sense. I guess a lot of people didn't learn Morphy, and that's the problem, because you need to watch Morphy's games and you will see this over and over, where the opponent continues to move uselessly 1 piece and Morphy is relentless and attack and destroys. So what would you play here in this position if you were white? This is very, very important, okay? What would you play? Because after all, you still have this problem, right? So you need to solve this problem, but you don't really want to defend. This is the opening. You gave up a pawn for the attack. So what do you do to continue the attack? Boom, e6. White strikes quickly before black can castle. Yes, because when you have a king in the center, you really want to keep it there. F takes e6. And now what do you play? Again, you can be scared that you have lost 2 pawns, but the goal of this game is to give checkmate to the enemy king, is not to save your pawns. That's why they are called pawns, soldiers, or I don't know, cannon fodder. What do they call it now when they send them to battle? They are just sent to die, right? Because they matter nothing. Instead, what matters is the final victory. And this is the truth. That's why chess is the most violent sport, right? Because you need to destroy the opponent. Boom! Knight g5. Can you imagine? This guy is down 2 pawns, he doesn't care, he continues to attack because now black starts to have some problems. And look how ugly is black position. What is he doing? I don't know. Obviously, black tries to come out with the pieces. He didn't get another pawn and gave white a better position. But the problem is bishop b5. Why bishop b5? Not because you want to give check, you know, typical beginner thing. Oh, you see check, you give check. No. Did you see this file? He wants to bring something on this file. So in order to do that, you need to vacate that square, so white can eventually castle, right? And that's why he played bishop b5. King f8. Obviously, guess what happens if you play this? And it becomes really a mess, right? So obviously he has to go away, but this is terrible, right? Because now, as you can see, that file becomes real. No? And here probably black miss his chance because he played a6. Maybe this move was better because it would prevent white from castling and have a rook over this file. But of course, if black didn't make any mistake, we wouldn't be watching this game. Now, how do you continue as white is the most important thing. Because honestly, sometimes it's difficult to see these moves, but I just give you a kind of hint. Okay? The problem is this: black cannot escape. This is control, and this is becoming a back rank. Okay? The famous back rank weakness or back rank checkmate. So again, you are in the opening. You want to attack with every move you make. You are not going to defend yourself. The king is stuck here, It's kind of stuck. This is blocked. Notice also this out of the game. You don't care at this point, right? So, can you sacrifice this? Yes, without doubt. Without doubt. Because you don't care. So you need to find what is the move for white in this position. What could be the right move for white? The right move was bishop e3. Because it keeps control of this diagonal, so he can finally go to castle, but he's threatening to take here. If you take, he takes back and is threatening checkmate, so you must be very careful. You say, oh, checkmate, because also when he plays knight e8, rook takes e8 and is over because it's protected. So now black is in a picot, like they like to say, and plays queen a5, again attacking this, okay? But as I told you, you want to attack, you don't care about it. So imagine this queen that made queen b6, b2, b6, d8, queen a5, and so on. Terrible, right? So what do you play now if you were white? Once more, you don't care about material, you care about winning the game, giving checkmate. And you play castle. Okay? So now there is, this is an offer, this is an offer, as you can see, and yet white attack is very, very strong. Because if it takes this, white will play queen d8 and is a checkmate, right? You cannot play knight e8 anymore. So that's why these pieces are for a take, because you cannot really take them. You really have a problem here. So what black does is h6, because he thinks maybe if he takes this away he can do this, but it's too late. It's too late. Okay, so once more, try to find white best move. What do you think you would play if you were white? Once more, I tell you, the goal of this game is to give checkmate. Don't be scared about giving up material. After h6, what you will notice is that this became weak. This pawn now is not protected by anything. And if you notice here, there is something that you can give a checkmate, right? So the idea is queen d3, g6, f7, checkmate. queen d3. So he didn't play queen d3 to defend this. He doesn't care at all. He wants to take this and give checkmate. Okay? At this point, as I told you, black is scared, he's trying to escape. Hello, I'm escaping. Because in this way he thinks, I can take something and leave the back rank. But you can't. Because you can't do that. Okay? And in fact, it takes here. Next move is checkmate, right? So black needs to do something. He plays this. Obviously, continue with this. Now the checkmate is on here, as you can see. Obviously, he defends, but the game is practically over. Why the game is over? Try to find the next move by white. Okay? Try to find the next move by white. Rook takes f6. And you say, well, what's going on here? I cannot understand, right? I tell you what's going on. If you take on f6, what do you think it happens next? Because this is what you need to calculate. There is queen e8, bishop f8 to block, and queen takes f8, checkmate. So you cannot take on f6, right? Can you do something else? In the game, he played knight d7. Notice these two pieces, we are at move 21. 21. So you already know something went wrong in the opening if by move 21 you take out one knight. Well, obviously this is the other move. And why did he play knight d7? Because he wants to take control of this one, right? But again, the game is over. And as you can see here, black resign. Of course, you can ask yourself, why did he resign? Why didn't he play this? What is the reason? And you need to find it out, because the position is kind of pretty clear. But as you can see, these are out of the game, and all the enemy pieces, the white pieces, are near the black king, and the game will be over soon, with a checkmate, obviously. I hope you enjoyed this game, and I let you go with this little exercise. Try to finish this game from this position. Thank you very much for watching.